You know, folks, I'm going to tell you about a very serious matter that's been happening in the last 2 years in my career. Like I said in other videos, 27 years. Yep, 27 years ago I used to have hair. Don't have hair anymore. I worked hard and serious, and I endured a lot of stress in this field. But I will tell you something that's kind of stressing me out a little bit, and that's the advent of electronic harassment. My phone and my emails have been blowing up in the last 2 years about individuals clearly across the United States that have been discussing and complaining things to me about electronic harassment. It could be electronic harassment meaning radiation, microwave fields, causing burning sensations, painful situations, physiological situations, confusion, distortion, voice to skull situations, anything to do with gang electronic stalking. Now you may think, John, I think you had too much coffee today, or you flipped out. Let me tell you something. I am a sound body of mine, and I'm a business executive, and I have devoted my life to helping people. Even though I'm in the private sector, I get well compensated for it. I'm an expert on electronic harassment, and I'm going to debunk some myths and some theories and some truths about electronic harassment. Now, the first thing that we always have to ask ourselves, or I ask myself when I'm consulting with a client, I'm always looking for a motive. When someone's complaining about being electronically stalked, harassed, followed around by satellites and GPS, there's usually got to be a motive behind it. There's got to be some causation behind it. And there has to be someone with the intent, the willful intent brought on by greed or distorted lust, that they want information, or they physically, sexually want the person, or they just want cold, hard revenge. It's up to me, as a private investigator, as electronic measures specialist. I got to find out the truth and dissociate the bull from the truth. Well, let's talk about this. We can't be dismissive all the time by thinking people are out of their gourd. There's a lot of people all over the United States, including Europe, who contact my office and say, John, I've been to everybody. I've been to the police. I've been to psychiatrists. I've had blood work done. I've had all the medical things done. They're still getting to me. There's something wrong. And I can't be dismissive by telling them, yeah, you sound like you're nutso to me. I'm not qualified for that. And you know what? Like the little boy who cried wolf, there might be a wolf at the door. I ain't joking, because there's some serious stuff going out there. Now, without any further ado, let me tell you about some devices that I found over the years that could distort someone's psyche and make them go nuts. This is called a little Mine Moleser, okay? And I'm going to hook this up to my microphone, and maybe I'm going to really tick off my camera guy over here because he might go nuts over it. But it's really, really freaky and really creepy what I found this device inside of an older woman's house whose son was trying to get her dough out of inheritance quicker. And it made her nuts until I found it. Listen to this. Scratching noise. Wind. Children laughing.
Hey, can you hear me?
The old traditional, hey, can you hear me? Now, this kind of device emits that little sound, and it bounces off the wall everywhere, and it lasts for months on a typical little 5-volt battery you could buy at Walgreens or Walmart. And the thing is, this thing goes off every 3 minutes, every 4 minutes, every 5 minutes, rendering the person freaked out. Happens. Here's another shameful product, and it's called the Mine Moleser 2. What it does is, it's a very small, sneaky device that's used against people giving speeches, sometimes politicians, teachers, whatever. It's a little revengeful product that can kind of screw you up when you talk and you're trying to think. It emits a small high-frequency device when you marry it with a 9-volt battery. Do you hear that? A real high-pitched tone. really drives people bananas, found this. It's a constant ringing, high-pitched. If there was a dog here, the dog would be going bazongo. This little device is a harassment device. And when people complain about harassment, they don't understand that it really can happen. And it's this little cheap thing for 59 bucks that can do it. Not being sold by discreetdevices.com. Remember, we have a moral compass to follow here, and we're straight players. But you gotta be careful of these little things driving you crazy. With that being said, there's a lot of other things that can be placed inside a residence or a business to make you distraught, to make you not be able to clearly think. Those could be anything from reconditioned microwave ovens that could be implanted into the walls. Yes, I said a microwave oven. This could be planted up in a drop ceiling, and the radiation could be left on there as long as it hooks up into the panels and the lights itself, and it emits that radio frequency in that microwave. Doesn't mommy ever tell you never stand in front of a microwave because it emits bad things? Well, yes, it does emit bad radiation, and the EMF fields do get to you. I have plug-and-play units that you simply plug into an outlet, and they can block bad, harmful EMFs. And let's face it, in this world, and these frequencies now going past our brains all over the place, we live in a real digital world. And then we're sitting here, and as we're talking on this camera, my cameraman and I, believe me, we're getting radiation from everywhere. Sometimes a person's noggin can't handle it, and it might throw them off and loop them, which means it might cause a chemical imbalance in their brain. A physiological chemical imbalance will render people helpless into making conscious, smart decisions. And sometimes these electronic harassment situations can do that to you. So, whenever you're doing a professional sweep, let's just say you're going to buy an electronic countermeasures device to make sure you're not being spied on or harassed, you should buy it from discreetdevices.com. You just can't buy it off the internet for a couple bucks more because you get me, this guy, telling you how to use it. You get me instructing you, and you get me behind you. I'll get your back, Jack. That's a fact. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is that if you're doing a professional bug sweep or you're sweeping a house for suspected these little EMF electronic things that are driving you nuts, you gotta put on the sneakers and the sweats and stretch out a little bit and do a physical search. There's only so many good things these electronics can do for us. Let's face it, we're in a digital electronical world of great service orientation. But what happened to good old-fashioned searching? That's right. Search under the carpets, under the drapes, under the couch, in the cushions, in the outlets. Get the screwdriver, take off the outlet plate. Look inside with a flashlight. Be careful not to zap yourself. Having said that, you have to look in every nook and cranny in your home, in your apartment, in your condo, in your RV, or in your trailer that has a hot tub. I had one of those one time. It went along with the box of wine. Nah, not me. I'm saying that you have to do a great physical search. So, a couple different products, search it out, get off your butt, hands and knees, get a ladder, search around, be delicate, don't mess up all your other existing wires, but do a great physical search, and you never know what you might find. I'm John Frycek. I'm with discreetdevices.com, and I'll see you later. Thanks for visiting.